I was younger, I had this elaborate fantasy of being like one of those women I would see on screen who wore beautiful outfits and red lipstick, confident in their appearance, and not at all afraid to do or say whatever they wanted. I looked up to those women a lot, found them incredibly inspirational, which hasn't changed. I still look up to them, and I still have a tiny shred of that dream hidden deep inside of my soul. But, my childhood fantasies aside, you'd notice that these women often shared several common characteristics. They were strong, attractive, intelligent, and sensual, and often used these traits to manipulate another character into doing something not exactly moral, but would fit into their ulterior motive. In pop culture, this woman is known as the Femme Fatale. Now, I'm sure many of you are familiar with the Femme Fatale. If you've consumed any form of media in the last 10 years, you've encountered her at least once. But while many know of this character, not many are as well versed on her history or the complexities behind her. And so allow me to remedy that. My name is Kenderley Diocias, and this is Your Red Lipstick, explaining the Femme Fatale. Boy. Femme fatale is a French phrase that literally translates to fatal woman, which in itself is an accurate description of the character. She is at her core a temptress.
You don't send a man to do a woman's job.
Often using her sexuality, charm, and beauty to bring about another character, oftentimes a male's, downfall. Eve, the first woman, was considered to be a femme fatale, courtesy of her luring Adam into eating the forbidden fruit. Aphrodite, goddess of love and beauty, was also considered to be a femme fatale, as while she is more well known for her affairs and ill-fated matchmaking services, there are also several stories where she uses her influences and power to lure mortals, and oftentimes other immortals, into doing questionable things. The femme fatale is destruction personified, and in other iterations, she is even the embodiment of death itself. Although the femme fatale is still pretty popular today, she was most prominent during 1940s noir films, some of the most famous ones being Rita Hayworth's Gilda,
Me?
Barbara Stanwyck's Phyllis, and Mary Astor's Bridget.
It's really O'Shaughnessy. Bridget O'Shaughnessy.
The femme fatale was originally meant to be a warning. Coming back from the war, men were terrified of how women were beginning to stray from traditional domestic roles to pursue careers. Women were becoming freer, according to them, and so they created this character. A murderous cheat, a message to women that they should act a certain way to avoid a certain fate, which at the time meant either prison or death. Basically, she was men's misogynistic fears wrapped into one. But over time, the femme fatale became a symbol of empowerment. She went from a character everyone was terrified of becoming to a character many, including myself, looked up to. Modern portrayals of her retain the same traits she had in the 1940s, but with the rise of feminism, gained a more positive worldview. Instead of a demon, we see a woman who won't let people take advantage of her, and who won't let unwanted negative opinions affect her. She is, in every right, an icon. One of my personal favorite femme fatales is Natasha Romanoff, also known as Black Widow from the Marvel Universe. She was trained at a very early age to kill. And she did, oftentimes even using her body to lure her targets into traps. But this wasn't because she was evil, but because she genuinely believed she was doing the right thing, and because she was terrified of the consequences should she disobey orders. Eventually, though, she is saved from that life and redeemed, becoming an Avenger, using her training to better the world, to save it instead of destroying it. Another of my favorite modern femme fatales is Zoya Nazielensky from the Grishaverse. Zoya is described as very beautiful and very powerful, traits that she was well aware of and slightly arrogant about. But she became a general not because she was a suck-up and not because she was pretty, but because she deserved it. So unfortunately, that's all we have the time for. So once again, this has been Kenderley Diaz Thank you all for watching.